Here. Welcome to another edition of Greatness Quest, and welcome to the Bahamas. I am going to share with you Stingray City, Bahamas today. My family and I are on vacation. I've actually commandeered, good word, this boat so we can go ahead and have a great day out in the islands. But I wanted to introduce you to an amazing business and some amazing people that are running this wildlife tour where we get to actually pet and play with the stingrays, which is pretty amazing. They're going to be this whole enclosure. This is our second day doing it. There's this whole enclosure where they have over 50 stingrays, which we're going to introduce you to. We've got an underwater GoPro camera so we can show you some of that action where I hopefully kiss them right on the lips. I don't know that I'll do that. But this week's episode is going to be awesome, so I can't wait for you to see it all and introduce you to the cast of the guys that run Stingray City. Again, welcome to the Bahamas, and I know you're going to enjoy this show. Alright guys, well, welcome to Stingray City, Bahamas. We're on their private floating dock here, and I'm about to introduce you to the stingrays and a part of their crew. This is actually a day off where they don't have a lot of tourists that are in, but they have to keep the stingrays fed, and they do it on a daily basis. This is the man who's actually been part of guiding us a couple different times here, helping us out. This is Chester Darvell. It's good to see you, brother.
How you doing, buddy?
All right, man, just do your thing. I'm just going to ask you questions. I don't want to slow you down.
Not a problem.
So what are these guys actually eating?
So it's a base diet of about squid and shrimp. So these rays, they mainly eat like small crustaceans and stuff, shrimps, clams, crabs, etc. They can actually suck them up from 2 feet underneath the sand.
When we were holding one the other day, when I was poorly holding one the other day, I felt it shoot water out like a
Cannon.
Yeah, like a cannon. That's I was really surprised because it must have been 8-10 inches from my leg, and I could still feel the power of that water. So what is that all about?
So that's the spiracles. That's what actually helps them to suck up the shrimps and clams from underneath the water, underneath the sand. So with those spiracles, they are similar to our nostrils, you know. Just it's a part of their breathing system.
Really?
Right? Yeah. So when they suck up the shrimp, clams, and crabs, they can actually expel shell, sand, and waste through the spiracles.
Ah, so they're not doing that to push away the sand.
They can actually do that. They can push sand away and disperse it through the spiracles as well.
So they suck up all the sand, all the shells, all that stuff, and they might get one shrimp or one squid or one something.
So they can actually blow that excess waste out of that spiracle.
Now, how do they have some kind of something inside their mouth that gets them to hold on to the stuff they want?
So
I've accidentally got my fingers stuck in there before.
That's what we call the crushers.
Okay.
So those are not teeth, all right? Those are crushers. They're flat and they have the shape of a file. So you see how the file has those grooves on it?
Yeah, yeah.
That's how they would have it.
And it felt sharp to me.
Oh yeah, it feels like getting hit with a small hammer.
All right, cool. And the last time we were here, you showed us how to feed them, and I know we're going to do that again. But when I was doing this, I used to live out here 15, 20 years ago, like I mentioned, and we were doing this without knowing what we were doing, and I kept getting my fingers caught. Like we would try to do. I did it like I did a horse, like I try to do an open palm. Yeah, and then they'd still like suck a finger in.
So when you want to feed, what we tell guests to do, you tuck your thumb down in the palm of your hands like this. So we're gonna tuck that squid in between your thumb right there, and then you're gonna lightly wrap the 4 fingers around the thumb on the squid. You're gonna make a light fist fold, you know. So you don't want it too tight, because if the fist is too tight, you can actually get what we call a stingray hickey or a love bite. Not everybody gets one, but if you do, welcome to the club.
There you go. Okay, this is really cool. Go ahead and keep doing what you're doing, because this is something that I teach all the time. Like, you just basically, somebody might get very upset. Oh my God, I got bitten by a stingray. But you twist it around, you turn it around, and you celebrate it like you'd be lucky to get a hickey. So you renamed it.
So they say it's 7 years good luck to get a hickey.
Now I want one.
Trust me, we had a guy out yesterday. I don't think he wanted that either. He was playing around with the squid. We told him not to put it on his body and stuff like that. So he put the squid right here to his chest. He has a hickey about that big. He didn't listen to what we were saying.
How many staff do you typically bring out with, and like one of these boats holds how many people do you bring out?
Anywhere from 18 to about 20 folks, you know.
And then how many staff will you have to go ahead and help with that 18 to 20 people?
On a one ship day, we'll have anywhere between 4 to 5.
4 to 5?
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
If we have like, say, double ship days, sometimes we actually have 3 ships in one day.
Right.
Because what will happen is Royal Caribbean will actually have a double ship day.
Yeah.
And sometimes we get a Norwegian ship as well. So we'll have anywhere from 11 to 12 persons in the water, staff. Because the numbers, like I said yesterday, the numbers, they can get anywhere up to about maybe 80 persons, you know?
Yeah.
And then when you have that extra hands in the water, it helps the tour to go smoothly. Two of our wranglers, we can actually handle that 80 persons.
Yeah.
You know? But it just helps it to move smoother with time consumption.
Right.
Because then we have to disperse evenly the times with the 3 tours.
Yeah. You gotta split it up, and this way you can do
Make sure you're on time.
And what he's gesturing to there in the background are a couple of different private islands that are owned by Royal Caribbean, which is right behind me. This one they call Little Stirrup Cay, and it's also Coco Cay. And then everybody in the Bahamas calls them Keys, right?
Yes, sir.
But then in the States, we call it Coco Cay instead of Coco Key. And then Great Stirrup over here is owned by Norwegian Cruise Lines. We were just visiting there yesterday and doing some fun stuff. I asked you yesterday, you said that this was the greatest job in the world. Is that right?
Most definitely. Trust me.
Chester's been out here for his whole life, actually grew up in the Berry Islands, and he's been working this job for the last 2 years, which is kind of cool. So all right, next little segment, we're going to jump in the water and play with these guys. And here's all the stingrays. I think we've got somewhere between 40 and 50 of them that are in this enclosure. Is that right?
41 females and 1 lucky male.
All right, so next little bit, we're going to see you in the water. In honor of the great Steve Irwin, crocodile hunter, I take you into the Bahamian blue with my daughter. This is my daughter Phoenix, and we're here at Stingray City. And this was surreal for me because years ago I had actually tried to start a stingray business here in the Bahamas. And it was so cool to see these guys do it well when we had failed to do it. And here in a little bit, I'm going to ask some questions about what they did right so that you can model these things for your business. That you can go ahead and tell the difference between them, right? You've got a checklist.
Each and every ray has their own distinctive markings, their name, personality, you name it. They're similar to how you and I are. Shapes, tail sizes, tail length, you name it. Attitude.
They all have a different attitude, all have different personalities. Her. And you said almost all these are ladies. You got one boy, right? And Nick said they kind of feel like a big wet mushroom. You said like me tell how long you've been doing this?
So December coming maybe 2 years.
Almost 2 years. All right, I'm gonna see what she looks like underneath. Cool. All right, let's get some more feet and a little bit different. So is there anything special you do to these guys to make them more docile, or is it just feed?
Feeding and TLC.
Yeah. And do they like to be pet, or some of them like to be pet? Yeah. So what I came to find out is that at first these stingrays are very wild, but then when they started to come in for food, they started to crave the attention as much as the food. And I hope you're loving this. I mean, I love sharing things with people that I love. I find it interesting, and I find that the more I learn about nature and the places that I go and I visit, the better I can do in my business. And I really hope maybe next year you could join us out on a trip like this. All right, Nick, so can you tell us what's going on right now?
Right now, Toss is about to get a morning feed, multivitamin.
Yeah.
All right. That's the first feed for the day. Right now, she's also pregnant.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
How do you know that?
Mom's on a block.
Wow.
Of the egg embryo sacs.
Oh yeah?
Like females, belly swell.
Uh-huh.
These girls, the back, they chop this, and this one, the back swells.
Wow.
Get a little mound. It starts off as eggs. Right? Before they give live birth, those eggs hatch. They can have anywhere from 2 to 10 pups. These pups are born with an inch-long bark. No attachment with mom and pop afterwards.
Wow.
And like our moms have rated with 18 with us at the house. No. These girls have to defend, feed, and everything for themselves on their own from their born.
Wow. So they're born, and they as soon as they're born, that's it. And how many squid and how many fish, or how many squid and how much shrimp do they get?
It varies on their sizes.
Uh-huh.
All right. Smaller girls, you know, anywhere to 5 to 6. Big girls, like a big girl like Delilah, this girl here, Tosser normally gets about 10 to 12.
Yeah.
All right. Weighs about 3 to 4.
And then she looks like she lost her tail here.
Oh yeah, so she lost a piece of her tail due to a sharp attack of fishermen.
Yeah.
There was bitten or cut back, don't go back.
Wow. Not like a lizard.
Oh no, nothing like a lizard. So this barb, there's the barb. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, saturated edges on both sides like an arrow. Yeah, so you know, like most animals, they don't like the tail to be bothered with.
Yeah.
Alright, but if you know, just like your fingernail, everybody thinks they shoot it at you guys.
Yeah.
But they don't know if it has to be forced with a lot of penetrated.
Is this the tip that'll go if they hit?
It can go in there. It starts off on the tip, but it depends on you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The force that you hurt it with.
Right.
How much exerted force, it can't go in.
Huh.
All right.
What's that?
All right. So it goes in pretty smooth. You try to pull it out. Anything that's attached to it comes out with it.
Right, because it's got a reverse jagged.
Yeah, that's serrated edges, and this is
Yeah.
actually a skin sheath. All right. It's
Right.
actually an ivory bar. All right. And that's this right here has the protein poison in it. All
Right,
So
and
this
so
is
it's toxic in your system.
right. You leave it in your wound, not clean out of your wound properly.
Yeah.
It can lead to a serious infection, which leads to amputation. All
I
right?
saw one of the guys that works for Jeremy who actually got hit by a little one. He was going after a lobster, and he didn't see his hand was right near a little ray. Hit him right in the wrist.
Oh yeah, that's a lot of pain.
Whoa.
Trust me.
Yeah.
Said it was a lot of
A
pain.
lot of pain. So what we do, we apply boiling hot water.
Boiling hot water.
Alright, raising up the temperature of the protein poison breaks down that the venom instantly. Alright, so you'll have to apply it for about 20 to about 45 minutes.
Oh my god.
To kill off any of the bacteria so that
The
it
minute
doesn't.
you take that off, the pain comes right.
Whoa, so the heat really helps.
A lot.
Well, it's crazy. If you get
Right.
burned, you want to put ice on it,
Ice.
not take it off.
Right.
All right, so we're heading back. That was pretty fun.
They're very sweet. I like them.
Yeah, a lot of people get scared of stingrays. When you have an experience like this, it's feels like nothing because they're rubbing up against you the whole time, just wanting a little bit of love and a little bit of food, I guess. They give them a vitamin supplement every day that helps them stay healthy, I guess, and free from disease and infections and things like that. Did you like it, honey?
Daddy, you have to shuffle.
I'm shuffling. My daughter is really rule oriented, so she wants to make sure we don't get hurt. All right, so we're going to go ahead and interview some of the staff here in a little bit. I want to talk to the owners of the operation, and gosh, they've got some cool fish and stuff in this enclosure as well. They actually keep this enclosure up to make sure that sharks don't come in here. Apparently they see a lot of tiger sharks and bull sharks and things like that, so they want to make sure they keep them out and all of the stingrays and the tourists in. So, okay, we'll see you in the next little part. Hey guys, we are at Stingray City headquarters here. These are where they keep all of their boats. And when we had I guess they own this house right here on the water. They either own it or rent it. And some of the parasail guys keep their boats here as well. But they run out of these Carolina skiffs where they put about 20 people on at a time. We got real lucky. We were over here the other day, and one of their tour operators, actually, one of their employees invited us to their crew party. So we got to grill out here, which means we ate their food and drank their booze. But we got to go ahead and we ate grouper, we had lobster, and just got to hang out with all the people here in the Bahamas that get to work here every day. So follow me over here. You can see the house a little bit, and we're about to go out to Hoffman's Key with the some of the Stingray guys, so we can go ahead and talk to them a little bit more and have some fun today. All right, see you in a bit. All right, guys, welcome back to Greatness Quest. I'm Trevor Crane again, and this is Travis. I didn't catch your last name.
Travis Kelly.
Travis Kelly, who is the manager for Stingray City, Bahamas. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay,
Director of Operations.
Director of Operations. And how many tours, how many Stingray tours do you have on how many islands, actually?
2 different islands, do 3 tours a day.
Uh-huh.
So a total of 6 tours a day. Every day changes on the amount of cruise ships that come. Some days, as today, no cruise ship. Day off. People are sleeping.
Yeah, well, you say people are sleeping like I just grabbed them off
People
the couch.
are sleeping. People are sleeping. Vacation.
Well, and you just got married too, right?
Yep,
and now you're on your honeymoon, and I actually pulled you out of.
Honeymoon's over now. Time to get back to work.
Right. Well, now because my show's all about entrepreneurship and people who are doing extraordinary in business. And as I look down here at your private house that you live on this private dock where you see all these boats that you guys have, and not all of them. Another guy sitting in the this is Mike. He owns some of those parasail boats in the background. He hooked us up the other day too. What is it that is making your business the most successful?
Right now, I'd have to say it's mostly our staff.
Yeah.
You know, the staff are pretty much the fundamentals of this operation. You guys have obviously been and done the Stingray interaction and stuff
awesome.
like that. My job essentially is making sure that they go and do what they're supposed to do every single day. And the cruise ships continue coming. That's where we are 90% or 100% of our business comes from. As long as the cruise ships keep coming, you know, and the guys keep performing,
right.
Those are essentially what makes our tour.
So this is location, location, location. Because now a cruise ship pulls up and you get, what, 2,000 people on a cruise ship, 5,000 people on a cruise ship? What do you get?
2,000 to 5,000. Different ships have different amounts of people.
Right.
Quantum is what?
Yeah, Quantum I think has over 6,000.
Yeah.
So there's different numbers.
And how many tourists will you guys get on your, just let's say just the Stingray's tours on
we have a maximum of just over 150 per island, so 300 per day.
You do 300 a day?
Yeah, I think sometimes a little over 300.
What are you guys charging a head? I guess it depends on the ship, right?
Each ship sells at a different price. And
ballpark. What's a ballpark?
It's probably $50 or something.
That's pretty good, man. It's a great tour.
That's what the ship sells it for. If we got all that, I think me and Mike may be smiling a little bit more.
Yeah. That's not exactly what you guys keep, right?
Of course not.
All right. So now location, location, location. That's what everybody says about a successful business. Having the right staff. Now, did you guys do a lot of training with that staff to go ahead and get them up to speed?
We spent about 3.5 months training the Stingrays, along with the Stingrays training with staff training also.
It took you all of 3.5 months to get this thing going?
Yep, pretty much.
Okay, because I lived out here 18 years ago, and I think that's the math. That might be a little bit off. But I was a diver working for Royal Caribbean.
Okay. And
we had, I caught a stingray out there and put him in a small enclosure with some buddies of mine, and we started feeding him squid, and then that didn't really work out. We didn't know what we were doing. And then there was a wreck, we called it the Haitian wreck, that was out on the flats out there. And we were feeding the nurse sharks, we were feeding the stingrays. So people thought about this over 10 years ago. You guys come in 3 months, knock it out. Now tell me how that happened. Because I was going to interview Andrew, who I guess is the company owner. Is that right?
He's one of our investors and owners. He owns and operates Stingray City Antigua. They're the brains behind our operation. They've been in operation in Antigua anywhere from 10 to 15 years now.
Right.
Their staff helped us do all of our training. That's what we learned. We haven't changed anything from what they do in Antigua, down to how the program's set up to work in the enclosure. It's a certain amount of time, then remove the enclosure, and be wild like it is in Antigua.
Right. And see, what I get to see, now I haven't been here for quite some time, but I get to see the difference between what's happened, you know, in the last 20 years since I've been on the islands. And a lot good ideas are a dime a dozen, but it's actually the implementation of those good ideas. What I think is cool to see, what I'd love to see in your operation, that you guys are, to me, it looks like you're killing it. I would say always from the outside perspective, people are like, your tourists are probably like, oh my God, you guys have the greatest job in the world and you're killing it. You're not necessarily making that much money.
Every
not,
single day.
Not Hugh Hefner money.
No.
But what I think is awesome is that I failed at it. I mean, not that I gave it much of a try, but I know that there have been plenty of people, plenty of Bahamians. This island's been here a long time that could have said we could pull this off and do it ourselves. But it took expert knowledge, and I think that that's such a key thing that a lot of business owners think they got to figure it out all themselves, where if you just bring in the brains of the operation, they can go ahead and do it for you, or at least do most of the heavy lifting for you, and in 3 months, you guys are running.
Pretty much.
And you had to train the rays as much as you had to train the people.
Yep.
And you found experts to do it. And I think that's a really key lesson, guys, to go ahead and learn here. I mean, I've enjoyed Stingray City. So just to clear this up, we did not have a Stingray operation out here years ago. We had the idea to do a Stingray operation. And I had Mike just asked me the question. He's like, hey, man, you're not necessarily making sense. He's like, did you have a Stingray operation here?
How did it work out?
It didn't work out at all because we couldn't make it happen because I couldn't even train one. And it was just that we tried, we dabbled with it instead of just like committing to it and actually figuring out. We didn't do any research, you know. I mean, maybe one of my buddies did, but we didn't actually do any research to figure it out or hire anybody. I mean, and a lot of people could have done it for the last, I mean, I've got a friend of mine that runs the parasail operation for Royal Caribbean, Sammy, and he's been trying to have different tours over the years, and it's not like the Stingrays weren't there.
No.
Did you have any experience with this before? Did you work over in Antigua?
No.
So how'd you get the wear the big pants and run the show here?
Driving the boats.
Driving the boats?
Yeah, that's how the job kind of fell into my lap. I'm the head boat captain of the operation also.
Which is why when I asked him, I said, all right, Travis, I got to ask you questions about what's making you guys successful. And he said, what's successful? Problem number 1. Problem number 2. Problem number 3. Because if you take a boat, wrap it in an engine, wrap it in fiberglass, dip it in salt water, you're going to have problems.
Yeah, we have eight of them here to take care of.
You got 8 boats.
8 boats, 6 Carolina skiffs, 40-foot catamaran.
Man, I like that 40-foot cat.
Yeah, that's where the job came from, the catamaran.
Yeah?
The guys from Antigua hired me. I ran the catamaran for them for a few days. They proposed the idea. Sounded like fun swimming with some stingrays.
Now, where are you from?
I'm originally from Nassau. I'm a Bahamian.
You're a Bahamian?
Yes.
Man.
Born and raised.
I see a white guy and I'm thinking that he's not Bahamian, but I forget that there's a lot of white Bahamians.
Special white Bahamian here.
That's cool. So you're born and raised in Nassau?
Born and raised. Family been in the country since the 1700s.
No way. You don't have as much of an accent as a lot of the other guys. Let me introduce you to another one of the guys who has a lot of accent. I'm like, yeah, I know he's from the Bahamas. All right. So, Mike, tell me about your business, because Mike hooked us up. He runs the parasail operation out of NCL for Norwegian Cruise Lines, right?
And also the Wave Runners.
And also the Wave Runners is yours, brother.
In my whole life, I've been in the business now for maybe, say, about 8 years. I grew up around the cruise ships. My family, we did tours with the cruise lines before they were even ships. We started off with the glass bottom boat. We did snorkeling. We moved on into parasailing and jet skis, and I grew up around it, and I kind of grew up into it. Now I'm here in the Barry Islands on Big Sturb Key private island.
How long you been out here doing that for them?
About a year and a half, almost 2 years.
Oh, so that's pretty new, but that's almost 2 years. That's good.
Yeah, man.
That's cool.
But I grew up into it.
Yeah. And, well, he hooked us up then. I didn't know you hooked us up on the Wave Runners, too, because I was out on one of your Wave Runner tours. So your guys were great there. What would you say is the secret to your success? Because you guys have now been in the water sports business for quite some time, doing it successfully. That's what my business was. When I left working for Royal Caribbean, I went and started my own show in Florida. And I started off with 1 parasail boat. Then I got 2 problems. Then I got 3 problems. Then I got into Wave Runners, and I had a whole adventure tour business. I started taking people out. But
same thing as Travis, with staff, the key, especially with me, especially with Wave Runners, I have a lot of staff, and we run it every half an hour, and I can't do it by myself. I need them, and we run it every half an hour. It's
now hold on. I think you just said you can't do it, but it sounded like, to my ear, sounds like you can do it all yourself. I was like, dude, this guy can do it all himself. He's like, it's all about the people, but check it out. I can do it all myself. Apparently not.
No, it's 30 of us.
30 of you.
Yep. We got 3 parasail boats now, and we have about 50 wave runners. It's a lot of work.
Man, it's a lot of work.
Yeah, between, our staff and the cruise lines, and we do need the ships. The ships come here, every week, 3-4 times a week, and they keep us busy. They book the tours. They work very hard. We work hard, all as a team, and, we get it done.
So now, there's been other operators that have been running boats for these guys, though. Why did you guys get the gig?
Actually, the cruise lines approached us about 5 years ago, and we were kind of busy in Nassau, and, we told them, we're kind of busy. We can't really do it right now, and we told me to get back to them, and we end up.
Now, why did? Okay, now hold on. Now, a lot of people are in business, and if you get a request from a cruise line who's a multi-million, if not billion-dollar company, I don't know what the hell they make, but a ton of money.
Yeah, multi-billion.
Multi-billion-dollar company, and they say, "Hey, we would like to give you more business." Why did you guys say no? This is key. I want to figure this out. Why did you guys say not right now?
At the moment, we were doing like parasailing wise. I was running about 3-4 parasail boats. We was flying maybe 200 people a day, just for parasailing alone.
That's nice.
And we also did. We had the contract with Atlantis transporting. We ran a boat to Atlantis every maybe half an hour.
So you guys were kind of at capacity with what you had then.
Pretty much. I ran 3-4 snorkeling boats, and we was actually in a process on. We have a private island off of Nassau, and we was in the process of getting that open. And we told the cruise lines, once we were done with that, we would come over and try and help them
make it happen. Got it. And that was Norwegian Cruise Line approached you.
Yes, NCL.
So how long did it take you actually to open that operation?
5 years.
Whoo! 5 years.
Yeah, 5 years ago was when they first sat down with us, and he's like, look, we want.
Did they have anybody there in the last 5 years before you guys?
They had. Yeah,
and so why did they want you? This is key again.
I guess our record, we didn't have much incidents versus this guy.
Oh, you didn't kill anybody?
No, we didn't kill nobody.
You didn't been hit by lightning?
No.
No? Because I've done that. You haven't done that on a parasail boat?
We don't fly.
Man, that's awesome. You don't do that?
No.
Man, I did that in my first 2 weeks of business. I was over in Florida. I can't believe it.
I don't believe you, man.
You did, I swear to God. It was July 4th weekend. I think it was July 5th. And we had a double up, so we had a 19-year-old girl and a 14-year-old boy, and they got hit by lightning. And I'm smiling about it now. They lived, but they got hit by lightning. They floated down to the water. They were laying in the water like they were dead. We had to fish them out, breathe them back to life.
Holy shit!
It was crazy, man.
Yeah, that's something I don't want to go through.
And the thing is, it was in the summer in Florida on the Gulf Coast over there. We didn't see. It's not like we were out like dodging lightning bolts, going like, "Oh yeah, we'll make it happen." I'd have had my mom or my grandma or my daughter up in the chute. I didn't know it was just this fluke thing. You can't. And that was tough. That's a tough for when people start a business and they're like, there's a saying that lightning can strike at any time, and I'm like, yeah, well, it can.
Sure can.
All right.
Be careful.
Well, guys, thank you for doing the interview with me. I know I grabbed you like at the end of the day. The sun's setting over here. Hold on, check this out. This is pretty awesome. We're on this deck here overlooking this great bay. I've been having some fun on the islands for the last couple of days. The light's so much better over here. I'll come back. I want to show that the sun is setting. And so what you're learning here from Stingray City, Bahamas, and other than all the freaking fun that we have, a business really has some all businesses have these major challenges, and they might look always from the outside, maybe the employees think you got it really good, don't they?
Oh yeah.
And then your clients, when you're running a business that everybody thinks is awesome, your clients are going to be like, "Oh my God, you're the best business in the world." And they have no idea you just pulled an all-nighter and you had to go ahead and become diesel mechanic, shrink to your staff, whatever you got to count.
Shrink is full-time.
Yeah, you got it. You hit it on the nail.
That's right, because you got these crazy,
every day.
And you never know what's going to happen, because the guys and gals are going to work on your boat on a beach every day are can to be some of the coolest people on the planet, but they're also some of the most irresponsible, potentially, because they're capable of anything. They could disappear to another island overnight, fall in love, and get married. Who the hell would ever do that? Fall in love on the job, marry a coworker. You know anybody?
You'll be surprised.
You know anybody?
Every one of my staff. Every one of the staff at Stingray City, Bahamas would do this.
I think we both have the same issues.
The two of you guys.
Staff? Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's everywhere. You know
This
what?
doesn't mean pretty girls come and ask to marry my staff at Stingray City, Bahamas either.
It doesn't mean that.
Do not do this.
Do not do that. But it does happen. It does happen. All right. So staff is really key. Finding something that you guys love, obviously, because this is a pretty cool job. I mean, it's not all about the money, and it is a whole bunch of hard work. I mean, to run 30 staff and have how many boats? You said 50 wave runners?
50 wave runners,
3 parasail boats. I know that is a hell of a lot of work. And with the type of volume you got, you know, and there's a lot of demand on a cruise ship. They've got some real big demand. So that's pretty cool. And Stingray City, Bahamas was awesome. I'm so impressed that somebody put that thing to work because it was just dying to happen. And I thought it was an awesome tour, so thank you very much for that. And man, the fact that you pulled off the parasailing and the wave runners here, man, that's a coup right there. Yeah, that's pretty awesome. All right, so you guys are watching Greatness Quest. Every week I'm going to bring you somebody else extraordinary. This has been like Bahamas week for me because I'm having a lot of fun. So we will see you next week. I'm going to share with you something else that's going to help you take your life and your business to the next level. Any last words, guys, before we get out of here? What would you say?
Come down and visit, you know, the Berry Islands, Great Harbor Key. See me and Travis. And we're glad to take you guys out on the tour.
Yeah, come swim with some stingrays.
All right,
guys. The sandflies that are biting us right now.
Are you feeling them right now?
Oh, yeah.
They must love Bahamian because I'm not getting it at all.
You got that special off on.
Yeah, you know what? I'm so sunburned. They're like,
yeah,
okay, hold on. So, what's Stingray City Bahamas? What's the .com? What's the website?
StingrayCityBahamas.com.
Man, it's like,
I can't sell my dog strictly through NCL. Great Stirrup Key.
Right. So if you go look online, you can see someone parasail. It's awesome. Actually, watch my show. I'll probably show. I'm showing parasailing on one of my shows I'm doing. So we'll check you out later.
I'll check it out too.
All right, last little piece here. I'm driving back to my beach villa where I'm staying out in on the island here, and I just finished up that interview with Travis and Mike, and it's got me thinking how important it is for business owners to take that lesson that if you want to accomplish something you've never done before, like in this case, start a business, right? So I said a lot of people have the idea that they're going to do a business. They have this great idea to start a business. Like I just mentioned, the Stingray tours were sitting there the entire time for the last 2 decades. They've been sitting there as an option to have somebody coordinate around a tour and build this whole business around it. But, you know, in just a couple of months, 3.5 months, their tour was up and running. So it's not about getting, it's not about a great idea. It's about making sure you have the right knowledge and the right team. And many entrepreneurs think that they need to go ahead and master the next part of their business, to take it from wherever it is to where they want it to go, and that they need to figure it out on their own. Just gotta make sure I don't kill myself in traffic here. They think they need to figure it out on their own, which is this like most ridiculous thing that like we as business owners I think ever do. So please don't do that. Make that habit. Get help. If you want to publish a book, get help. If you want to start a business, get help. Preferably find somebody who's got some friggin' experience doing it, like these guys. They had years of experience actually running successful tours, and then they came out and lo and behold they did it in overnight instead of, I think we tried it on the cruise line to actually run our own tour. The cruise line actually assigned that as a job to us. We probably tried that for at least a year or two when I worked there. We didn't have the specialized knowledge. And this last little piece, I think I've probably mentioned this before, but if I haven't, then you're gonna love this. I think an entrepreneur's job is 3 things, and that is number 1, that you, let me turn this off. Number 1, that it's your job to go out and find specialized knowledge. That is the knowledge that you don't have, that the experts have, that'll go ahead and help you create the results you're looking for. I don't care what it is. Like I did this year when I wanted to do better at my LinkedIn marketing. I just found somebody who was really good at it. I found the specialized knowledge. And then I interviewed a couple different people, and I found a referral from a friend of mine who has done some phenomenal help with what we do with our LinkedIn marketing now. Just one example, right? We did the same for book publishing. We've done the same for a couple other things. But then we went ahead and hired them. You know, check it out. You hire help, right? We hired them to implement the system. So it's number one is specialized knowledge. Now you can do it yourself. You can learn it yourself, and you can then go implement the system that will help you create sales and a profit. That's what you want in business, right? You know, it's about scalability and sellability. You know, do you have those two things? Is there a proven system that is sellable? So number one, specialized knowledge. Number two, that it is a part of a proven system. And then number three is that you get someone else to deploy it. One of the coolest things that these two guys just shared with me as well is that they said their number one reason that they're the most successful running their businesses is that they've got a great team. They've shared that specialized knowledge with their team in a proven system, and now they can go ahead and create that results on demand. Because I had a great time with both of their staff, both on their parasail boat and both on their Stingray tour. So that's our last little bonus here on today's episode of Greatness Quest. I hope you like it. If you stuck here to the end, that's my gift to you. And I will see you guys next week on Greatness Quest. All right, I am not going to be doing that.
Don't try that.
I'd like to see it, honey. Just give an example, please.
Yeah? Maybe I'll just put one on my pants. That's very amazing. I'll introduce you to my family. Say hi, guys.
Hi, guys. Stingray.
Stingrays. That is Phoenix and Robin.
Job like this, corner of the nose or in the eyes. This is not the job.
This is not your job. All right, well, one last thing is I'm here with Fruit Loop, who I think is kind of a cool bird. There's Fruit Loop. I think he's a red wing macaw, or is it a blue wing? Can't really remember. I don't want to really, should I reach out and say hi to him? See if he comes up. Will he come on to me? See, he's leading with his beak. I'm not sure we want to do that. Want to do that? Want to get on me? Hold on, Fruit Loop. Come on, we can do this. Here, Fruit Loop. There you go. Come on. No, he doesn't want to come on. Actually bit me. Fruit Loop. Doesn't like being filmed, maybe. All right. See you later, Fruit Loop. Leaving the Stingray guys' place, and I thought I might go ahead and talk to Fruit Loop. Didn't want to say hi to me. He let me pet him earlier, but that's when he had his dad watching him, I guess. All right, see you guys later.
Greatness Quest is also available for download on iTunes and Stitcher. See the link in the description below.